It's our tribute to All Hallows Eve, next on Columbus Neighborhoods.
Support for Columbus Neighborhoods is provided by
At American Electric Power, we've been proud sponsors of WOSU Public Media for many years and strong supporters of our headquarters city here in Columbus, both downtown and in neighborhoods like yours.
State Auto Insurance Companies, transforming to become a digital provider of auto, home, and business insurance. And for nearly 100 years, committed to the people and neighborhoods of Central Ohio. State Auto. The Columbus Foundation. Smart philanthropy for a smart city. ColumbusFoundation.org. Bailey Cavalieri. Your relationship with your law firm doesn't need to be complicated, it just needs to be right. CODA keeps our community moving forward. Falgren Moortime Marketing and Communications. Think wider. Ohio Health focuses on you and your family with a mission to improve the health of our communities. Women in Philanthropy at Ohio State, changing lives by giving together. And by contributions from these and other Columbus area families who support WOSU. Thank you.
We're here at Union Cemetery, and we want to make it very clear, cemeteries were designed for the living. In fact, historically, people used the cemetery as a place to have a picnic and enjoy the sunshine.
Cemeteries aren't strictly just for people either. There are pet cemeteries scattered all over Columbus.
Mary Jo Bowl moved to Columbus in 1989 to teach art at OSU, and she soon took an interest in preserving one of those pet cemeteries. Here's her story.
The Brown Pet Cemetery was started in the 1920s, the same decade as the Columbus Airport, which now surrounds the whole cemetery. It was begun by Walter Brown, who was a veterinarian here in town. I've been coming here since the 90s when I moved to Columbus to teach at Ohio State in the art department. And I grew up going to funerals a lot as a young person, and seeing singular, amazing tombstones somehow always made me feel better about death. So this is the Brown Pet Cemetery, and it goes back really far, all the way to this ravine, and it goes back to the 1920s. And you almost can follow pop culture through the names. Like back here you might see Bugsby, or it sounds like a gangster or something. And I think because it's pets, there's all kinds of treatments. It's almost like they're more emotional than you might find in a human cemetery. Oh, this might be good. Let's see. Perhaps to others he was only a collie dog, but then they didn't understand, for to us he was a pal, a friend. Oh, I love this one. Here's Googles from here they were Googling in 1922. It's really sad seeing all of the vandalism. Vandals, stop. I don't know what that impetus is to wreck all of these. This one, this is a do-it-yourselfer. It says Inky in marbles, and just the scale of this place, I think, is mind-blowing. And it's sort of like a knoll. And sometimes you can be walking and a plane will just go right by. And then over here you can see a whole pedigree pup section. They must all be related. And I'm pretty sure I've heard that there's a donkey buried here. And now we're really getting up into the 1940s, 1950s, and Jingle and Rusty and Cotton. Oh, here's one I adore. I like how Satan is softened by being our best boy. This is a real favorite. I just love these with Sister Fluffy and Brother Tuffy, and then Buddy the bird below. It's a real sweet one. And some of the tomb plaques, it's almost like the dogs are almost turning into weird humans or something as the pictures solarize. And I'll show you one of my, this one is amazing. Prince! I love the way, this is the one I repaired, and it was loose and I just re-glued it, but I just love the way it looks like he's going off to somewhere else. Blondie, I mean, you can really get a sense, Gigi, you really get a sense of the names following what people are watching or seeing in films and TV. But this one has the owner. There aren't many that have the owners on the tomb plaques. And if you come in the winter, if you look even into the brush here, there's more parts of the cemetery. As my mother, the nurse, always said, you've got to have a good gallows sense of humor if you're going to deal with death. And there's some great examples here. We've got Damn It and Stinky Bill, and this one, Gay Bit of Copper, Penny. Such a good one. And the more do-it-yourselfers, you know, somebody probably worked in a machine shop and then at the end of the day put something together. So certainly there's the other part of the turgid's very immediate sadness. There's also the humor. Yeah, it seems that as we come up in time with Jingles and G.I. Joe and these other ones that sort of follow pop culture up into the 60s and 70s, they're becoming the flush kind that are probably easier to mow over, to tell you the truth. And of course it didn't cost as much. But we're also going to see in the 1970s, there must have been one monument company that was making quite a few of these. Like here's Sporty Reed. Look at that. That is, poor Sporty Reed really got kind of a little weird little folk art guy here. Look at, this is so weird. I mean, look at that cat, always in our hearts, Jenny. But Jenny, they're really interesting depictions. In '97, it was a land gift to the Columbus Foundation. And part of me wishes the Columbus Foundation would come and fence it in and, you know, tidy it all up. But the truth is, then it can't be what it is now, which is this kind of hidey-ho, calm spot. And it's a place that needs to be respected.
You know, we get submissions for spooky stories from all over Columbus. Some are rumors and some are legends.
And our producers love to do reenactments, so that's what we did here, and it involves the Ohio State Highway Patrol.
Most ghost stories seem to originate in houses of a certain era, and there is a reason for that. A lot of our ghost stories actually come from three sources in English literature: Oscar Wilde, William Shakespeare, and Charles Dickens. And they are continued today in Harry Potter and other more modern ventures. But ghost stories and old houses seem to just go together. And so it's kind of unusual to find a ghost story in a modern day twist of an old mansion on Broad Street that was haunted in the 1940s. The story that I'm about to tell you has to do with a young woman seeking a job at the Ohio State Highway Patrol building in the 1940s. She is looking for her very first job. There is a great opportunity for young women to enter into clerical positions and jobs held normally by men who are now off to war, when she notices a sign for help wanted in the window of an old mansion on Broad Street. And it's the weekend. She doesn't necessarily expect anyone there. She approaches a little bit more cautiously, looks to see if there's any more detail on the sign, looks in the window, doesn't appear to be open, and starts to turn when she hears a voice say,
"Excuse me, miss. Hi, can I help you?"
And she looks to find that there's a very friendly man.
Hi, come on in. So what brings you in today?
I saw the help wanted and
She inquires about the job and asks if it's with the Ohio State Highway Patrol, which is actually in that building in the 1940s, all through the war years, before it moves to Parsons Avenue in the 1950s.
Have a seat.
He sits her down and starts to find out more about her and what her job skills are, but she's a little nervous because this is her first job.
Great. Well, we're hiring for a secretary, and tell me about your experience.
Well, I was actually the first in my class in shorthand,
Okay.
and I'm an amazing typist.
Oh, great. Those skills are going to come in handy here.
And he breaks the ice with just a lot of good conversation, and she's feeling more confident.
You seem perfect for this job. I don't have the authority to hire you myself, but if you could come in on Monday and talk to the people in charge, we'll see about joining the team.
Wonderful. I think I can do the job. I'll definitely come back on Monday.
Sounds great. We will see you then.
Great. Oh, thank
Have
you.
a great day.
You too.
We'll see you
Thank
soon.
very much.
So the young woman comes back on Monday, and the office is
I'm
completely
sorry.
different. It's a hubbub and a hustle and typing going on. Two men are talking in the corner and seemingly ignore her until one turns and says,
Hello, ma'am. Can we help you?
Yes, I'm here to interview. I spoke with a gentleman on Saturday. He told me to come in this morning and talk to the person in charge.
Ma'am, nobody works here on Saturday.
But I spoke to the loveliest gentleman, and he told me to come back today. We talked for quite some time.
Ma'am, is this the man you saw?
Yes, that's him. Is he here?
Ma'am, this man has been dead for over a year.
I'm curious about this ghost. Who was he? What is this story based on? What was surprising to me, first of all, in the research, was that there was someone who died in 1944, and it was Colonel Lynn Black. At the age of 46, he died very unexpectedly, very young, from a gunshot wound that he had sustained earlier in a gun battle in his law enforcement career. What was actually even more remarkable, I think, not just the timeline of his death and the coincidence of this young woman's experience, but the fact that the personality seemed to match so well. The man that the young woman met was gregarious, in love with his job, spoke highly and reverentially of everything the Ohio State Highway Patrol did, felt she was the perfect match for the job. And this is exactly the character he had as he traveled the state, spoke about the Ohio State Highway Patrol, talked to school groups, and really spread the word of what this new Ohio agency was all about. Was it the ghost of the first superintendent? Who knows? But it makes a great story.
There are plenty of ghost stories that scare the wits out of us, but this story is about two friendly ghosts up at the Worthington Inn. We sent Charlene up to taste the scallops and to get the scoop.
We're at the Worthington Inn on High Street. While the inn long ago gave way to seating for the restaurant, the place is simply dripping with history and ghost stories. But we'll get to that in a minute. Dishes here are based on locally sourced ingredients. Grass-fed Ohio beef is prominent on the menu, as well as artisanal cheeses, and if you come for dinner, the herb-crusted lamb chops are a favorite. Today, I'm sampling blackened scallops. With me at the table is Annabelle Kinsel, who coordinates big events at Worthington Inn and is the keeper of many stories about the place. Oh, this is beautiful, too. Now, is this your favorite dish, or you have another one that's your go-to?
My absolute favorite dish, I always recommend the beef Worthington. So it's our twist on a filet mignon. It's got mushroom demi-glaze on there, but honestly, the star of the show is gonna be the potato gratin that basically comes as a big brick of just good melted cheese. That's probably the best part of the whole meal right there, right?
One of the things that I hear is that you have ghosts. How many ghosts do you have here?
So we're not quite sure exactly how many. We've been told 2, maybe even 3, just by various people who somehow get a sense of they feel like there's maybe a little more than just their dining patrons here. We've heard quite a few times there's an older gentleman who stands at the top of the stairs and kind of welcomes people as they come in, and they get a feeling he might be the original owner. There also is a woman. And anytime we have things that move or doors that close, we've been told that's her. And then we also have a cigar smoking ghost as
Oh,
well.
you're kidding.
So that is the manager in the 50s and 60s would, after he closed the place, would go upstairs. He would light a cigar and he'd count his money. There'll be occasional times where you're just, in the middle of dinner service, and of course you're not allowed to smoke inside here, but it'll smell like somebody just lit up a cigar right next to you. It actually personally happened to me Easter morning. We do big buffets on holidays like Easter, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, and I was here early Easter Sunday and getting things ready, so nobody was in the building yet. And I was just making coffee and turning on lights, and all of a sudden it smelled like somebody had just lit up a cigar and was smoking it right next to me at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Oh,
So-
that's wild. There's a story about a gentleman who was setting up here for a big event, and something happened with the silverware
Yes.
while he was not looking?
Yes. So we had a manager who he was here late for a wedding. We do lots of different events here, and we've got private rooms. And so throughout the day, we'll have 4 or 5 parties. And so he was working a late party, and then he had to come in the next morning and work a breakfast, and he was really tired. And so he thought, you know what, I don't care what the room looks like. I'll hurry up, I'll set it, I'll come back in early tomorrow morning. I'm the last one out, I'm the first one in tomorrow, and I'll just make sure everything looks properly set. And so he locked the door, he turned off the lights, locked up the building, left. First one back in the morning, unlock the door, turn on the lights, and all his silverware had been pushed to the middle of the tables, as if to say, you didn't do it right the first time, do it again.
Well, it sounds like you personally believe in ghosts, do you?
I talk to a lot of our patrons about this. I don't necessarily know about ghosts, but you can feel people's energy, and this place has a lot of energy. Just for, we've been around for 187 years. And you can just feel that there's been thousands and thousands of people in and out of this building. Now, if you were to ask me at 10 o'clock at night when I'm closing down the building by myself and all the
Then you're a
lights are off,
believer.
I might be a believer at every creak and, shadow out of the corner of my eye. So I'm not quite sure if I do or not. But.
Does anything change around Halloween? Is there more that kind of activity around Halloween?
There's not, the things, and a lot of times we get caught off guard when things happen. It'll be things like whispers in your ears, or things move, or just something out of the corner of your eye, a glass falls off a shelf or something like that. We do definitely have more interest in our ghost stories at Halloween. So we pair up with the Worthington Historical Society and do a big candlelit Halloween dinner. And we seem to have a lot of more people wanting to see a ghost, but it's almost like we've asked them to be on display and they don't want to do it. So.
Oh, how interesting. I've never heard of ghosts refusing to show up.
Refusing to show.
But people love ghost stories. Why do you think that is? Why do we like that so much?
I think one of 2 reasons. I love Halloween. I like being just a little scared. It's fun. But at the same time, I think people like to think that there's something after life. It's proof that you go on even after. So if you loved the Worthington Inn while you were alive, you can still come hang out here after you're dead too. So I think people like that.
Great to know that. Thank you, Annabelle.
Thanks, Charlene.
One of the fun things to do in communities all around Central Ohio is to take a walking tour. There's tons of history to learn, and you get to see houses and landmarks up close and personal.
Many communities now have ghost walk tours. We caught up with Jeff Darby in downtown Delaware as he learned about some of the places and legends there.
We're in downtown Delaware, and some of the local citizens here have a wonderful ghost tour that they do. There are several places that appear to be haunted here in town, and we're going to learn about several of them. It sounds like it's going to be an interesting evening here in downtown Delaware. Hi, I'm Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. Welcome to Delaware.
Oh, thank you so much.
Welcome to Briar Hill.
Briar Hill, that's
Yes.
what they call it. It's
Yes.
the highest point in the city, is that what I
Highest
understand?
point in the city.
And we have other things to look at right here on the county site.
We certainly do. We have the jail around the corner.
Well, let's have a look at that jail. I hear it's a
Sure.
pretty good building.
Judge Hemanowski.
Yes.
Thank you
Nice
for
to see
being
you.
here today.
My pleasure.
Hi, Jeff Darby.
Jeff, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. How are you? So here's the jail.
This is the jail. It was built in 1878. This was part of a sort of nationwide update in how we treated prisoners and how we housed prisoners in this country. Now, this cell block was in use from 1878 until 1988, 110 years. Let's come down here to where one of the cells is a little better lit, and you'll get a sense here of what these cells look like. But you'll see here Queensryche and Megadeth and Iron Maiden, the Metallica, Anthrax, the bands that were popular in the late 1980s. I would invite you to go up on the catwalk, take a look at the second floor upstairs as well.
So this has been great seeing the old jail, but this is a ghost tour, so what are some of the stories?
Well, we do know that this now being a law library, people who are in the library itself sometimes hear sounds of people walking. They're not in here, but there's also the story of the lady on the front porch, that she would disappear, and that perhaps the wife of a former sheriff.
But there are a lot of other stories here in
there
Delaware,
are.
aren't there? I mean, this is great, but there are other places to see.
Other places to travel.
Let's do it. Hi, I'm Jeff Darby.
Hi, I'm Jules Lapp.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you
So
too.
tell me about this whole house.
So the homeowners believe they share this home with, let's say, a spirit of an elderly woman and maybe her maid. They see green and yellow orbs floating about the master bedroom area. Curtains that are drawn in the morning or open when they return in the evening. They hear tapping on the walls and rattling of pictures. Also, things disappear and reappear at other parts of the house. Very interesting. Something that they can't seem to keep track of are scissors in particular. And one day, the owner, exasperative, said, "Please return these scissors." Well, later, those scissors did appear, but not those shiny modern ones. Some small, very petite sewing scissors with ivory handles.
Well, what a great tale. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Now, there's more in the neighborhood, isn't that
Well,
right?
there's right on up this street,
Up the
Jeff.
street.
How about this house?
That's quite a house.
When it was transferred to another family, a man had passed away, and the widow lived for a long time after that. They said she was a tall, gaunt lady who liked to wear dark clothes. And that old tradition of soaping people's windows, she didn't go for that. And they said that she would grab a broom at Halloween and walk around the house on the outside. The other thing about her, they said, was that she was fascinated by black cats and witches, and would have different things about them hanging in the house at different times.
Well, we might as well move on to something new.
I think so.
Okay. So this building is really fascinating.
The Benjamin Powers home. They said that he would be seen over the years reading a newspaper, sitting near the window, and then would disappear.
But there's another house related to Powers,
Yes,
is that
just
correct?
right down the street, just right here.
Let's go have a look. So Benjamin lived down the street at the other
Yes.
house we looked at. This was another family member?
This is a son.
Oh, his son,
that lived
okay.
here, yes.
Okay.
And there was a psychic who came into this house and determined at one point that there were 4 spirits in the home, and that perhaps Benjamin Powers would wander the house, but very benign.
Well, those are great tales, and it's been a wonderful visit to Delaware. We're kind of out of a street, kind of out of houses, but I see a woman over here.
Well, yes,
with a lantern.
We have one more story.
Welcome to Monette Garden. Come along. We're approaching the location of the Delaware Female College, built in 1850s. Sadly, the building was torn down in 1978. It is now a memorial garden for Mary Monette, but there's more to this place. There are often spirits that have been seen here. So as early as 1870, the students would see a woman in a long black gown with a high collar appearing and disappearing in the 3rd-story corridor. It happened so often, they created the Paranormal Investigation Group. In the 1960s, after the building was closed and the electricity severed, the same woman was seen back and forth in the windows of the 3rd story, and blue lights would appear in the upper windows. They say that all of the ghosts of Delaware transcend Winter Street and come here to Monette Garden. Perhaps they're having a ghostly garden party where we stand today.
Well, I can see why they would be attracted here. It's a wonderful setting with the trees. It really, where'd she go? You know, I think maybe it's time for us to leave.
I think our tour is over.
I think our tour is done.
Thanks for being with us.
And remember, you can catch all of our episodes on columbusneighborhoods.org.
Plus, see our stories on the WSU mobile app. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We'll see you back here next week on Columbus Neighborhoods.
I hear the lonesome whistle blowing, smoke creeping over the hill of the train.
Support for Columbus Neighborhoods is provided by
At American Electric Power, we've been proud sponsors of WOSU Public Media for many years and strong supporters of our headquarters city here in Columbus, both downtown and in neighborhoods like yours.
State Auto Insurance Companies, transforming to become a digital provider of auto, home, and business insurance. And for nearly 100 years, committed to the people and neighborhoods of Central Ohio. State Auto. The Columbus Foundation, smart philanthropy for a smart city. columbusfoundation.org. Bailey Cavalieri, your relationship with your law firm doesn't need to be complicated, it just needs to be right. CODA keeps our community moving forward. Falgren Moortime Marketing and Communications. Think wider. Ohio Health focuses on you and your family with a mission to improve the health of our communities. Women in Philanthropy at Ohio State, changing lives by giving together. And by contributions from these and other Columbus area families who support WOSU. Thank you.